Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. How are you doing? Welcome to the Lovin Dubai Daily, where we take you through the top stories that everyone in Dubai is talking about. Today, we'll talk about the big increase in COVID-19 numbers over the weekend. We're also going to take you through the 3 fires that broke out in Dubai over the weekend. But our top story today, and the one that we'll go straight into, is great news for so many expats that are stuck abroad. This is the fact that Etihad and Emirates are resuming their inbound flights. So this was announced over the weekend that a select number of inbound flights will allow stranded UAE residents to return home. So you may or may not know that over 29,000 residents were stuck abroad when strict COVID-19 travel restrictions were put in place. It's worth noting that only residents who have received approval from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, that's the MOFAIC, via the UAE Tajoudi Resident Service will be allowed to return home. And we've mentioned this Tajoudi service a number of times before. It was basically set up exactly for this purpose, for when the restrictions were put in place. This was for anyone, if you were stuck abroad or you know anyone else stuck abroad, you were able to go online and kind of plead your case basically to get back in as soon as possibly could. For now, Emirates will operate limited passenger flights for residents from select destinations, including Frankfurt and London Heathrow, while Etihad is offering select flights from 14 destinations, including Amsterdam, Barcelona, Chicago, and Jakarta. And you can get the full list on Lovin Dubai. On arrival at DXB, it's worth noting that residents will be subject to stringent restrictions, which include a mandatory DHA test on arrival, 14-day quarantine, and a follow-up test before they are allowed to kind of go back to their homes, basically. So like I said, this is amazing news for anyone stuck abroad. We've kind of seen a lot of sad stories of families who were separated due to these travel restrictions. And we did, of course, see a number of kind of great stories of families returning home, but it was a small number. And this kind of release is thanks to the huge work, amazing efforts by authorities and also the airlines, of course, that is going to allow more people to return back. So we'll hopefully see a lot more good news stories over the next couple of days. But I know that this is going to be a huge relief, because I think what was happening is that emergency cases, maybe young family members were allowed to travel back in, and this is kind of the wider opening up of UAE residents, who will be allowed to return home. So great news for anyone stuck abroad. But we'll move into our next story, which is 3 fires were reported in Dubai this weekend. You probably saw the videos. One was a high-rise building that's under construction in Business Bay. It caught fire on Saturday afternoon. A warehouse in Rahul near DXB Terminal 2 caught fire on Saturday morning. This blaze actually could be seen from miles away. You probably saw it or you saw the videos online. As confirmed by the Dubai police, the fumes were actually coming from a warehouse in Rahul, which I think is behind the Aramex office, if you know that one. This is located near Dubai Airport. And as well as that, earlier on Saturday morning, a number of pickup trucks caught fire, which I have beside me. This was near Dubai Creek in Al Ras. So I think the causes of these fires have not actually been released yet. However, it's safe to say that the temperatures are creeping up across the country. The highest recorded temperature in the country was this Saturday, and it was 44.1 degrees Celsius. So be careful and stay safe. Thankfully, by the way, there were no casualties in any of those fires reported. Shout out to the authorities for getting there so quickly. Anyway, if you're just joining us, by the way, if you're joining us on Instagram or Facebook, good morning to you. Good morning, Chai. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Casey?
I'm good. And we're also going live on Instagram. So if you're just joining us on Instagram, this is new to us. So if you have any thoughts or feedback, let us know in the comments. We love to read them after. I'll flick on the Lovin Facebook Live also, so I can see if you have any questions or comments. Just by the way, it's very warm in the Lovin Dubai office. Chai is just like sweating. I have a fan here because we came in and the AC in the entire building is broken. They're working on it. They said it'll be fixed later today, but it's toasty. It's very toasty.
I'm already toasted.
But we'll move on to our final story. This was the latest COVID-19 numbers in the UAE were announced on Saturday. So 624 new COVID-19 cases were announced, taking the total number of cases to 17,417. That is actually the biggest increase in numbers over a 24-hour period. so far reported in the UAE. There were 11 deaths recorded on Saturday, which takes the number of deaths to 185, and also 458 recoveries, bringing the total number of recoveries to 4,295. This is also the biggest increase in recoveries in a one-day period. It's worth noting that over 33,000 tests have been carried out in the UAE in the last number of days. So, of course, the UAE has a national screening program trying to get a huge number of people tested. We're up there with the largest tests in the world. So, of course, that does lead to more infected cases. Before we leave you, as always, we bring you our isolation diaries. This one made me laugh so much. The isolation diaries, please send them to us as you're still at home. We know that so many of you are still isolating. 30% of the workforce is back, so we are back in our office, but so many of you are still at home. And if you've taken a funny video, maybe you think it's funny and you think other people might find it funny, please share it with us on DMs, in the comments, or wherever we can find them. This one was shared by, and so many of you guys are using TikTok editing, which I like. This one was shared by Vanna Palace Sundeep on TikTok. Can we play So those are our TikTok our isolation diaries, guys. We love to see them. Please keep on sending them through. Just checked, I have a couple of questions on the live on Facebook. Thank you for sending them through, and good morning to you all. Viola is saying, what country is scheduled for outbound flights? Basically, for outbound flights, Air Arabia, Etihad, Emirates, and also Fly Dubai do have outbound flights. They're always changing, so I know that Emirates are changing theirs week on week. So the best thing you can do is get on to the individual airlines, purchase your tickets there. There's actually something about fake ticket sellers, so I would definitely get onto individual airlines. Then you can find out where they're going, which destinations they're going to. Also, someone said getting approval is hard. Getting approval has been very hard on the Trajudi service. Of course, this was an unprecedented time. The numbers of people stuck abroad were quite large, but this weekend, I think the news is important. The fact that these inbound flights are coming on a more regular basis, that means you will have more chances of getting on a flight back into the UAE. Of course, like I said, they are definitely doing emergency cases first. It will be done on a case-by-case basis, but I think it's worth getting onto Trajudi as quick as you possibly can, giving them exact details. There's also a Facebook group for UAE residents stuck abroad. We've mentioned it on the live before, but if you're not in that and you do need help, a lot of people, what is great here is there's a community of people helping each other, finding out information and sharing there. So I think that's very valuable if you are stuck abroad and you're looking for information. Good morning to everyone. Thank you, Maine, for saying good morning. I hope you're doing well on this Sunday. Guys, those are top stories. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Wash your hands. Thank you for tuning in on Instagram also. Bye. Have a good one.